So Chargers tickets went on sale for the blockbuster preliminary final just yesterday at midday, and within 3 hours we'd sold 1,000 tickets. This is going to be the biggest game of basketball in Tasmania since the Devils' days. We're now at about 1,750 tickets sold. And I'm encouraging Tasmanians to get online, go to ticketmaster.com.au, search for Hobart Chargers and get a ticket early. If we can sell another 300 or 400 tickets in the next few days, then we will, I think, be forced to open the curtains, and wouldn't be it be a magnificent sight, 3,000 plus Tasmanians cheering on what is a fantastic Chargers outfit headed towards a grand final.
Is it a failure if we don't sell out the day?
Oh, look, we are, as a group, as Chargers board, the group of Chargers volunteers, we're really proud of what we've achieved. You know, we've come from a club that was in debt and had an average audience of about 300, 350 at the old netball centre, to having the potential of 3,000 people at a home final just fills me with great pride, and more to the point, with my warmest congratulations to this huge volunteer army we've got that have really built this club over the last 2 years.
Why is this final so popular?
Well, I think there's a great confluence of events going on at the moment. You know, there's a lot of talk about Australians trying out in the NBA. There's a lot of pre-season hype for the NBL. Obviously, the Southern Huskies have launched the brand and started to engage people. The Hobart Chargers, just in the last financial year alone, have had 11,000 young Tasmanians through camps and clinics. So they've got to rub shoulders with our players, with our stars like Trey Nichols, like Craig Moller, and they've got to know these players and come to love them. And I think that's driving a lot of the enthusiasm about this team and about the club at the moment.
This St Mary's game, what do you make of it, I suppose, because it's coming at an awkward time? Well,
look, it is what it is. St Mary's College, you know, the college that produced Della Vadova, produced Paddy Mills, Jonah Bolden have all come through St Mary's, and of course we've got a couple of Tassie boys playing there right now. We'll be playing on Sunday, August the 12th. We've made the decision to make it our Back to Kingborough Day, so we'll be stripped back, all about the basketball, and what I expect 2 days after the preliminary final is that it'll be a bit of a party atmosphere. It'll be a chance for our crowds, our fans and some of the supporters from down the Huon and Margate that perhaps don't get to the Doohan Entertainment Centre to come and meet the players and wish them all the very best on their way to the grand final, and of course to see one of the top US college teams playing right in our home court.
With in all seriousness, with preparation, if we get through, how mothball will players be, and even minutes, I suppose?
Yeah, look, yeah, I mean, you have to ask Coach Anthony Stewart about that, but I know he'll be very sensible about our approach to the grand final. Hopefully that means lots of our young guys get plenty of minutes in the college game against St Mary's, and what we are hoping is to make it a Chargers invitational team and recruit some other players from around the state to come and pull on the Chargers jersey perhaps and have a run around on that Sunday. It'll be a bit of fun, but it'll be high quality basketball. It's US college level basketball, so it's going to be pretty exciting and a great party family atmosphere.
Huskies website crashed, sort of crashed this morning. You must be wrapped.
Well, I of course would prefer that the technology stands up, but what it shows is there is unprecedented support for the launch of a national basketball franchise in Tasmania. It is clear that when we launched our foundation membership drive at midday today, that well over 1,000 people were waiting ready to click buy, is what I'm told. That crashed the server and it's been a bit slow getting back up. I understand we have our pack of faithful Huskies installing more memory on the server even as we speak, and I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the day if we see 1,000 members of the Southern Huskies, a club that has just launched 14 days ago, just launched its brand, and we've got a lot more of our story to tell.
Do you think that kind of popularity, is that a bit of a poke in the eye to the AFL?
Well, look, There was this fantastic cartoon in the Mercury a week or so ago of Gil McLachlan with his suitcase staring down beware of the dogs, Southern Huskies. And, that is my message really to other sporting franchises, beware of the dog, because the Southern Huskies have captured the imagination of this community such that this community managed to crash the server today, showing how captured they are by this brand, by this idea, and by the journey we're on together as a community to make the NBL franchise a reality. And certainly every other code, I think, I don't want them to be too wary, because frankly I think southern Tasmania, the whole of Tasmania, and particularly Hobart's going to become a basketball-led community. We're engaging the kids from the grassroots up, we're engaging the community at all sorts of levels, and this is the reward you get for that work.
Added pressure to sell out the deck, considering some of the eyes the NBL could be on you?
Well, look, we had a sellout at our last game, so that is an extraordinary achievement. It's the biggest crowd in Seabull, I'm sure, anywhere for a long time. Although I understand when Bendigo opened their new stadium, they gave away 3,000 free tickets, so that might not count. But this is the biggest crowd. The final home game was the biggest home crowd of a basketball game anywhere in Tasmania for many, many years, and we know that we will reach that number again. I suspect we'll exceed that number, and that'll be a great success and a great reward for the volunteer army who have built this Chargers club over the last 2 years.
What's next in the timeline for Huskies? Obviously membership's out today. Where to from here? The deck's the next big ticket item?
Well, look, there is obviously negotiations going on with the Glenorchy City Council around the Derwent Entertainment Centre. On Friday, I understand their public legislated mandatory publishing period ends this Friday. So I suspect negotiations will start really in earnest following that. Obviously, we want to tell the people of Glenorchy particularly that the Southern Huskies is just one part of this jigsaw puzzle. You might be a basketball fan and that's great, but this consortium want to bring more entertainment, more food and beverage opportunities, a world-class sports and entertainment precinct. They want to bring jobs to the community there in the form of some $30 and $40 million of investment in building and construction. They want to bring activity and economic activity and some of the tourism and hospitality jobs that are in real growth in Tasmania at the moment. This consortium wants to see deep in the heart of Glenorchy. I guess the other flip side of that, and the message I always think about is, I live in Kingborough, and I guess the people, the ratepayers of Kingborough, the ratepayers of Hobart, the ratepayers of Clarence, every time we buy a ticket to the Derwent Entertainment Centre to see the Foo Fighters, frankly, the ratepayers of Glenorchy are subsidising me and my mates to go to that concert at the moment. And I don't think that's fair on the Glenorchy City Council ratepayers, and we want to give them something better.
Sounds like there's a petition out there against, or saying the council should keep it. Have you heard about that?
Oh, no doubt. Look, and it's great that I think all people in the ratepayers of Glenorchy should have a say about this, but they should also deeply understand that their council's hemorrhaging money with the Derwent Entertainment Centre, and every time one of me and my mates who live in Kingborough or live in Hobart buy a ticket to the Foo Fighters, the Glenorchy City Council ratepayers are subsidising my privilege to do so. I don't think that's fair on the ratepayers of Glenorchy.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense why they want to hang on to it, I guess. So why would there be a petition out there, do you think?
Oh, well, look, you'd have to ask them that, I don't know.
Back to this.
I think there may be some concern, I guess, about community access, but very clearly Consortium will be writing into any contract for transaction, will be grandfathering the community access that is there. So your dancer Stedfords, your primary combined choir, all of those community events that traditionally are held at the Derwent Entertainment Centre will be grandfathered at the same prices, the same rates, the same access as they've been in the past. So there'll be no loss of community access.
In terms of the charges that have fallen short in recent times, mate, have you spoken to Stewie or the players about it all not meaning a lot unless they go on to win a championship this time?
Well, look, one thing I've learned about being president of the basketball club is don't get involved in player minutes, player selection, what have you. What I can say is this, that I have absolute faith and the great work that Anthony Stewart's done as head coach this year, not only on the court with these. With this great team that he's recruited, but also out in the community with thousands of young Tasmanians, inspiring them to play basketball. It would be just reward for Anthony Stewart and for this team that we've put together that are a great Chargers team to go on and win this grand final. And I, above all, am hoping for them that they get to see, have that joy and get that privilege.
Do you want Dwayne Davey to coach the women's team next year?
Look, coaching jobs are always up for grabs at the end of any season. We haven't made any decisions about that. We haven't had any conversations about that at board level or at basketball department level. The way we've got the Chargers working in the last 2 years is we have a basketball department that's headed up by one of our directors. It has great brains trust around it, including our 2 coaches, including people like Mark Nash, so we can really get the best for basketball. It's that committee that makes recommendations to board about how we'll go forward. We haven't started any of those conversations yet.
You said you wanted championships at the start of the year for both organisations. The team didn't make the final. Has he done enough to keep his job?
Oh, look, Dwayne Davey has done an outstanding job this year, in my view. The luck that team didn't have, on paper, that team that he recruited was definitely a championship material team. Sadly, through an extraordinary run of injuries, we dropped too many games in the first half of the season to make up for in the second half of the season. I've got to say, the Tornadoes looked awesome on court on the Friday night down at Doohan Entertainment Centre. I am backing them for the championship, having knocked off top spot Bendigo. Go Tornadoes is all I can say in the women's comp now.